Thank you, Madam Acting President. I'm pleased to rise to make a contribution on the Suburban Rail Loop Bill 2021. This project is what Melbourne needs. Melbourne has waited for a project like Suburban Rail Loop for years, and now we are here to deliver it. It is our visionary and forward-moving government that has been able to think of this great project, and we have the capability to deliver it. We have delivered some of the biggest projects in Victoria's history. We are removing level crossings at a fast pace. The Suburban Rail Loop is completely transforming how we move through this great city. It will connect places, bring people and families closer to one another. The advances we have made in Victoria's infrastructure are modernizing our city and making it a leader. The Suburban Rail Loop Bill, once enacted, enabled the delivery of this iconic infrastructure project. In summary, the bill provides for A, the establishment of the Suburban Rail Loop Authority, including its functions, powers, and governance arrangements. B, the declaration of Suburban Rail Loop planning areas, which provides the Suburban Rail Loop Authority and Minister for Suburban Rail Loop with the planning powers needed to develop Suburban Rail Loop infrastructure and precincts and protect them from conflicting developments that could impact on the achievement of the Suburban Rail Loop objectives. C, the declaration and designation of areas of land on which Suburban Rail Loop projects will be undertaken, which will then have the effect of enlivening project delivery powers. D, the provision of improved project delivery powers via amendments to the Major Transport Projects Facilitation Act. The more important aspect of this bill is that it will ensure that the Suburban Rail Loop Authority has the governance and legislation it needs to deliver this project. The scale and ambition of Suburban Rail Loop demands a different approach from government. It is an unprecedented undertaking and is truly a game changer for the city and state. The authority will have overall responsibility for the development of the Suburban Rail Loop program and will have the powers necessary to fulfill program needs and objectives. The bill provides the authority with powers to investigate and plan for the development of the Suburban Rail Loop and assemble and dispose of land in preparation for the delivery of projects. Subject to the approval of the Suburban Rail Loop Minister, the bill also provides the authority with power to compulsorily acquire land in accordance with the Land Acquisition and Compensation Act 1986. As outlined in the business and investment case, Suburban Rail Loop will generate up to $58.7 billion in economic, social, and environmental benefits. Suburban Rail Loop SRL is Victoria's largest infrastructure project, and the project alignment would be subject to 11 different local government planning schemes. Suburban Rail Loop from Cheltenham to Werribee passes through multiple local government areas, each with their own approach to precinct planning. This legislation will ensure a consistent approach is adopted to achieving the best outcomes across all precincts. Suburban Rail Loop is not some standard infrastructure project. It will completely reshape the railway infrastructure of Victoria. Melbourne is growing, so we have to plan it in such a way that the system becomes future-proof. Suburban Rail Loop is the answer. It is a multi-generational project which connects one end of Melbourne to another. Suburban Rail Loop will connect every major train line from the Frankston line to the Werribee line via Melbourne Airport, improving access to housing, jobs, schools, universities, and hospitals in Melbourne's middle suburbs. The Suburban Rail Loop will not only transform the way we move, it will also support thousands of jobs. The Suburban Rail Loop business and investment case released last month shows that Suburban Rail Loop will support 24,000 jobs across Victoria and connect people to around 550,000 jobs in the precincts around the stations, with first trains expected to run in 2035. The environmental case for the SRL is also very strong. It will take 600,000 car trips off our roads every day. People will get to their destinations faster, with an average of 40 minutes being slashed from a one-way trip. Melburnians will spend less time commuting and more time doing what they want to do. SRL will deliver a new 90-kilometer orbital rail line and strategic land planning and development initiatives in suburban rail loop precincts, giving Victorians jobs and homes closer to a train line and changing the way our state travels forever. The rail line between Cheltenham and Melbourne Airport will carry more than 430,000 passengers daily when complete. The SRL project will also play an important role in Victoria's recovery from the pandemic. It will create a pipeline of work and economic stimulus. I am a regular user of trains, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for the rail infrastructure. I know the value of public transport. Taking the train, tram, or a bus should not be a chore. Melbourne's west is growing fast. The traffic is increasing every day. More and more people are choosing the west to be their home and their workplace. Having the suburban rail loop will significantly improve the connectivity of the west to the rest of the city. SRL will also provide enjoyable experiences for passengers with high-tech trains delivering a smooth, comfortable service, mobile coverage, and smartphone-compatible journey information. It will provide a turn-up-and-go service and quick and convenient interchanges with existing lines, transforming how we move around Melbourne. Beyond the many jobs delivered during construction, SRL will create major economic activity centers around the new stations, transforming Melbourne into a city of multiple employment centers. COVID has proven that less commute means more productivity, and suburban rail loop will help in cutting the travel time significantly. The suburban rail loop will also connect the regions to the metropolitan region better. Regional passenger lines will be connected to suburban rail loop via 3 transport super hubs at Clayton, Broadmeadows, and Sunshine. This will have significant benefits for regional Victorians who commute to work to Melbourne for work, study, services, and leisure, and for visitors and tourism to regional communities. This project is what Victoria needs. Simply put, it is good planning to have jobs, education, and housing close to world-class public transport. This project has been through an extensive consultation. The Suburban Rail Loop Authority have met with every council numerous times. They have met with universities, business groups, shopping centers, and many other stakeholders. The Andrews government is getting on with the job of putting the foundations in place to undertake the development and delivery of the SRL program. We are getting on with planning and will be commencing consultations on the assessment of impacts of SRL East later this year. Suburban Rail Loop will revitalize Melbourne's middle suburbs and provide an economic uplift. Greater investment, urban planning, and new initiatives near the stations will build on the strengths of Melbourne's already vibrant middle suburbs. Melbourne is home to more than 5 million people. It is growing at a faster rate, and in a few years, we are projected to surpass 6 million. So we need to make sure that we have the right infrastructure to help people move easily. Large cities like Tokyo, Shanghai, Berlin, Paris, Seoul, Singapore, Hong Kong, and London have well-connected rail systems. These cities have millions of people who rely on the train to move around. Melbourne should also be on the list of the world's best rail systems. Suburban Rail Loop is a first-class project. Victorians themselves endorsed this project overwhelmingly at the last state election in 2018. I commend this bill to the House. Thank you.